Hello, welcome. This is Dr. Divi from the podcast Ease to Clarity, and you're currently listening to a video series called Women Healing Women. In this Women Healing Women program, you're accessing some phenomenal videos, some phenomenal information. And in the live classes, the interactive classes, I teach, I demonstrate, we do energy work, we do intuitive readings, we partner up with other women to heal our stories. I believe that the more and more of us that hop into the Women Healing Women program, the less issues we'll have with other women, the less competition we'll experience, the less backstabbing, the more our income will go up, the less we'll fight with our partners, the more we'll feel equal on the planet, and we can start to truly heal the patriarchal culture that we're brought into. So if you're listening to this woman, my request to you, please share this with all the women in your life. Let us create a domino, a trickle effect to heal and up-level the entire female consciousness. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you for coming back. So in today's class, we're going to be talking a little bit more about the concept that I introduced in the last video about healing and transforming the feminine on the planet. I'm going to use things, and again, when I talk about women versus men, please remember that a woman is equally male and female, a man is equally male and female. So in the characteristics I'm going to work on right now, this could apply to a boy, it could apply to a girl, but just keep your ears open, even if I use the words feminine and masculine. So a really common characteristic that I see in clients, especially women, is what I call the doormat. And so in this video, we're going to talk a bit about the doormat, the lack of boundaries, this excess of guilt, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not only going to talk about a specific example, but also teach you a technique. So one of the common female energies I see a lot is I call it doormat. I feel powerless. I feel not good enough. I'm constantly checking my body weight. I'm looking for approval outside of me. And you can add lots of the list to that. I feel guilty all the time because I'm not enough. I really want to support and prove to my husband I'm worthy. And a part of me to support me because I don't think I can do it myself. And you can add lists and lists and lists and lists to this. And this powerless female that we are taught to be is actually in almost all humans, men included. But the only way I have discovered to begin to heal that is to identify it and see all of the places it shows up. Sometimes it shows up by me simply projecting onto another person that you're not enough because I feel like I'm not enough. It could show up as me projecting on somebody else about what their body looks like because I think there's something wrong with my body. Because this powerless thing that we are all taught keeps us out of our power. It keeps us thinking chronically that there's something wrong with us. As you may know, if you've been on my station for a little while here, you know I talk about two main concepts, the ego and the divine. The ego is just the separated self. It's the false you. Now the divine, also I term it the God energy, infinite love, unconditional consciousness of love, whatever you want to call it. And these are the only two energies or two thought systems that you have inside of you. And when you're judging, comparing, feeling powerless, feeling like, hurt or abused in some ways, it is only of the ego thought system because the other one is the God thought system. And something really important to remember here, when you're listening to the work I do, come to one of my classes. All the work I teach revolves around is around this thing we call the law of attraction. Almost everybody on the planet has heard of this concept. The law of attraction simply means that which is likened to itself is drawn. That's all it means. So if you're sitting here listening to the video, wanting some help with, say, your partner who had an affair on you, a partner who cheated on you, I should say, or feeling a sense of betrayal by that person, until you own 50% of that, I am not the right teacher for you. I am here to show you how to truly heal and shift it, but only if you're ready to take 50% responsibility. And you can say to me, but Divi, it happened when I was a child. I was a baby. Dad did this to me. Please remember, as a child, you still have a very old soul. We have hundreds and thousands of lifetimes. This is not your first go around. So you carried some karma in from a past lifetime, which has impacted you as a child. And you may say, Divi, you've lost your crap. Again, then I'm not the teacher for you, and I'm totally fine with that. But I'm here to teach people how to shift that powerless piece, even if it's related to abuse as a child. Because that story that you're powerless is pure hocus pocus. Because when you're when you see yourself as a child of God, the divine I am, you are infinite love and infinite consciousness and infinite potential. There's nothing powerless about you at all. Now, you may have a story that you are. You may have a shadow that says you're nothing. You may have experienced abuse and trauma as a child, and you may completely disagree with me that you matter. That's fine. But what I want you to see is the only thing that is real is this. This is a quote from A Course in Miracles at the very beginning, and I may paraphrase it. I may get it wrong. It says something like this. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. What the heck does that mean, Divi? The only thing that's real is your soul, the divine, the non-physical, the peace that you're capable of. The thing that's not real is this human body, the fear, the pain, the trauma, the story. That's not real at all. And when you truly get that, that's when you will find peace. That's why we cannot heal our shadows with the mind. We can only heal our shadows with the energy of the divine, the spirit, the I am. So again, in this video, we're specifically talking about this powerless part of us. This part of us who might project onto other people saying, you're not enough, because as soon as you do that, you're saying you're not enough. It might project onto that person, you're doing something wrong. And as soon as you do that, you're saying, I'm doing something wrong. You have to understand, everything you say to another is actually what you're saying to yourself. And the ego is very deceptive. It says, he's doing that wrong. She's doing that wrong. He's doing that wrong. She's doing that wrong. But really what you're saying is, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. It's an internal tape recorder of judgment that doesn't ever stop. And the ego is very slippery, and I almost call it slimy and very deceptive to make you believe that. So if you're a woman or a man walking around the planet and believe you're powerless, you have to understand that is just the ego. And we totally know why it's there, because your mother believed it, your grandmother believed it, your great-grandmother believed it, and millions of years of generations of women believed it. You know, my ancestors thought all we were good for was to make men feel happy. Some ancestors I come from thought, you know, if my husband dies, I have to kill myself. That was very common in the Indian culture in India before Gandhi came into power. If your husband died, you killed yourself, because that's how useless you were as a woman. And depending on the culture that you come from, you may have a story that's equally as dark. So it's no surprise that you believe you're powerless. It's no surprise that you believe you don't matter, because these are the stories you're taught. So it is a surprise that you think you have to be a good girl to get love? No, because if your ancestors died because you were a girl, it's not a shock that you think you have to be perfect for love. Because everything else, thought that ever existed still exists. And if it's your ancestries, and I guarantee you, if you're listening to this right now, your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, they didn't heal it. That's why you're on this call and listening to this recording, because maybe it's your father, great-grandfather. It can be the same in men. That powerless victim can run that gamut, right? My dad was an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. I'm shameful, so and so on and so forth. So the first thing you need to do is to really recognize all of your powerless stories. Now, I want to tell you, that's a never-ending journey, because again, the ego can be really funny. It can be intricate. It can find all kinds of things. See, you're not as rich as that person. And you're kind of like, yeah, whatever. But you'll say, but that's true. Sure, whatever. But the more you believe it, the more you're giving the ego something to land on, right? Because one thing the ego does is it loves comparison. Like, I compare myself to you. That's the ego's game way. Now, how do you heal it? You're like, Divi, I've heard you now for the last 5 minutes. I get it. I got this powerless. It's the ego. It's the separate stuff. How do I heal it? I'm going to teach you 1 or 2 techniques right now. Go ahead and close your eyes if you're not driving. Get yourself into meditation mode, focus, and just breathe. First thing I'm inviting you to do is to watch yourself as you move through the planet. Watch yourself through your day. Just visualize yourself going through your day right now. See yourself making breakfast. See yourself cooking dinner. Notice your interaction with your kids, your partner, your girlfriends. And maybe notice how much, how often you think you are less than or somebody else is less than. Or maybe you're focusing on somebody else around you and how they're less than, and you're constantly pointing it out in your mind. Just notice those things. That's the ego at work. This keeps you in powerless. Notice where in your life or where in your body you feel powerless. Your husband makes all the money. You're not enough. Your wife makes all the money. You're not enough. What's the story you've got? Maybe the story is you're not enough because you're always late for your kids. Maybe the story is you're not enough because you're having an affair. Just notice these stories and just breathe. You might need to listen to this meditation many, 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 many times, and that's fine. Now settle inward with your meditation. Bring in your divine support team, your guides, your higher self, your ancestors. Bring them all in. Specifically, if you're open to it, bring in what I call the Divine Mother. And to you, that might look as Mother Mary or Kuan Yin or any expression of the Mother. And just breathe. Slow breath in, long breath out. Deep breath in, slow breath out. We are balancing the feminine on the planet, you and I, right now. We're bringing it back into your awareness. So with your eyes closed, your breath moving, take your focus from your mind into your heart. And just be there with your breath. And once you're in your heart, visualize, sense, see, or feel a beautiful altar. And behind the altar is the Divine Mother. I'd like you to place on the altar every story that says you're not enough, your weight, your kids, your lack, the story you project onto your husband that he's not enough, or your wife. Put it all there. Every story that said you were not enough from childhood, or there's something wrong with you, put it there. And just breathe. Take a few slow, deep breaths in and out. And now that you've put it there, the Divine Mother has walked towards you. And she's placed one hand on her heart, on your heart, and the other one hand on your back body, right behind the heart. And you'll have to say in your mind to her, say, forgiveness, set me free. Forgiveness, set me and everyone free. And just keep repeating that in your mind's eye. Forgiveness, set me free. Forgiveness, set me and everyone free. And just keep breathing. And notice what's happening in your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body as you do this. Forgiveness, set me free. And with her hand on your heart, she's sending beautiful, loving energy of unconditional love into your heart. You may see this as a color green, whatever color resonates for you. See the energy entering your heart chakra, the back of your body, the top of your forehead, the tips of your toes. As you breathe, keep saying, forgiveness, set me and everyone free, and let the love in. As you allow this meditation to occur, you're literally releasing the energy of you not being enough and putting in the truth of the goddess of the mother, of the infinite love that you are. And you're healing that wound for yourself and at least 7 generations back and forward of the powerless part. Just take 10, 20, 50, 100 breaths here. As you slowly settle into your body, as your breath starts to slow down even more, as your mind gets quieter and your breath gets deeper. Stay here. Gorgeous. Now, as I wind out of this meditation, I always encourage you, if you do have the time, without thinking, spend 10, 20, 30 more minutes here if you can. And the most important thing is to take this off the meditation mat. So today, tomorrow, when you're out in your life and you notice that old neural pathway come up, practice this. See it through the eyes of the Divine Mother. It's going to take you time, maybe the rest of your life, and it doesn't matter, to always giving this to her so you can be replenished with the truth, knowing that it could keep coming up, and that's okay. The more often you practice, the less you will see, feel, and perceive it. Take a few more breaths. And again, stay here longer, please. There's gold in staying here. I'm sending you lots of love. Namaste.